my sweat equity. Sweat equity.
Good.
Sweat equity. My sweat
Good.
equity. My sweat equity.
Either
Sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
you either really hate it's the Jocko Good thing. I found out from a little bit of feedback is either you really like it or you really hate the person that repeats it.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was like, there's times when that's probably not appropriate.
I just that's all I reply to people now.
Get
is just put
divorced.
Good.
Good.
It is well.
That's a bad one. Okay, hold on.
There's a good.
My dog died. Good. Go get another
It
one.
was in pain.
Good. He hated you.
That'd be a funny bit of like
Yeah.
a publicist that just does spin, but is Jocko aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
So
The Jocko
your
PR
dog died.
firm.
Good. It was in pain.
Good.
Yeah. So it's just all these things that are just like good turn and then spin it into something good. That's actually kind of what I try to do. If anything's, I'm feeling bummed out about something I did or I felt I did wrong or pity party ish. I'll try to go, all right, spin this around, use it to your advantage. Not advantage, but use it to motivate you to do whatever you need to do.
I've been saying it, and it helps me. It turns you around real quick. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, you know what, this isn't that serious.
Yeah. No, I got a shitty text from,
It doesn't matter who it's from.
yeah. And ended up going for, I was like, I haven't run, I think, more than 4 miles since 2015 or something like that. And I think I ran 7 faster than I ran in the 5 I did the day before.
Wow.
Just kind of pissed just about the text.
Good.
And I didn't
Good.
read the whole text. I just read the preview of it. And
Wow,
so
you're just
put
ready
my
to go.
No, that's what I've been doing mentally to get back on track business-wise as well. Like, if my headspace is there too long, it does affect work. And, you know, we got to figure out, I want to find an expert to talk about this, but I feel like we use computer RAM as kind of we talk about that in the office a little bit. Like, you don't want your RAM kind of stored, not with you maybe.
Yeah, not with
I
me.
think I talked
Don't
with
bring
Henry
bringing that RAM shit to me.
Henry Hollingsworth of allday.io, who's, frequent flyer guest on this podcast. But I think we talk about like the computer RAM that you have. You don't want it stored up with a bunch of just junk, a bunch
Sure.
of cache, cookies, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the tracking on your Google Chrome.
Yeah.
Clear
it out.
So that helped me clear it out, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to run until I'm not pissed anymore.
I mean,
An hour and 10 minutes later.
Yeah, you're going to get the endorphins. It's going to turn you right around.
Yeah.
It's just starting.
Or cramped up.
Getting outside and starting is the hardest part.
Yeah.
With everything.
The new thing I'm going to add on the physical for the work-life balance is today I got to go outside and get in the sun because I'm super white.
It's funny. I was thinking about the same thing the other day.
Me? That
I was
white?
like, you need
'Cause
to get
I'm-
out.
Damn,
I
that's
saw that
cold-blooded.
profile picture you made where you're
Woo.
orange man.
Yeah.
And you need to make it real.
That is a Nashville filter, okay? Or Hefe.
I mean, whatever it
No.
is, it is very orange.
That is all about marketing. That's I look at
So
that
who,
as
Tropicana?
No. Any of that is. Where's your own crickets on that?
Oh, hold on. Oh, there it is. That's it.
Boner into the table.
Good one.
Nice.
Thank you.
That voice you hear,
Good.
John Paul. How do I say your last name? Is that how you say it?
Labity.
Tampaniac Pictures. I was thinking about when I was reposting your stuff yesterday. I was thinking about your ability. I'm going to do a little plug for you. There's no ad here, but so I'll put you in this ad space. Your ability to do guerrilla style video that's high quality. I think we got that from doing sketches. You guys did a lot of comedy sketches. That's how we all kind of hung out. 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't even know when because
Even longer.
Time's fucking flat circle or whatever. But
All right.
but I think your ability to people don't look at flexibility as a big differentiator. I think that's huge, especially with video and capture. You only got one shot at something.
Yeah. That's
Q8
like,
mile.
yeah, it's like my number one attribute.
Yeah,
physically and mentally.
it got me thinking about as I'm starting to wireframe the new Tokubaga website. That's where we record this in our consultancy advisory firm.
We're still working on the name.
Well, yeah, that's another podcast. But
That we just did.
I ranted to someone about this yesterday. I was like, never mind. He's like, I think your kid's falling over the edge of the
I'm
slide.
not done.
I was like,
I got to finish
hold
this
on.
thought.
There's no standardization of internet terms, okay? Like, so I think your ability to do high quality in that guerrilla style of like just get it done and be quiet, especially if you do weddings. That's a huge. I would say that's your best selling point, right?
Oh, so you were saying that like
They're ninjas.
Okay, I didn't know if there was a video I didn't know about.
No.
I didn't see or something.
Just
okay.
generally, I can tell. I don't have to be there. I know enough about like looking at video to go, okay. You can tell they're getting some of these shots with the cooperation of the couple, but if it's a wedding video, but you can also tell that like, for instance, when I got married, I told everybody no cameras, please don't do that. We hired people to do it, and then sure enough.
1,000 cameras.
5 people did it.
Why you bothered?
And my Asperger's fucking kicked in. I was like, all right, here's the people to kill list. John Jacobs, our friend of the program, did it immediately as soon as the announcement was made.
Oh, why?
Because that was funny.
It's John Jacobs. He can do what he wants.
Well, he OD'd that night, so that's
Tampa
fine.
News Force.
Yeah.
OD.
He drove himself to the hospital.
See, he was fine.
Hey, who's better to get there than someone coked up? You're not going to wait on an ambulance. You are the ambulance.
Yeah. He ran to the
just
hospital.
sprint there, yeah. So,
no, the wedding videos are guerrilla. Like most of the time, you don't have a relationship with the venue that you're going to. You have to just kind of do it on the fly. And now that we have all this experience beyond that, I mean, you're realizing, if you could do wedding videos, you can do almost anything.
But even better than
Can I give you
guerrilla as a term? Sorry, before I forget, because my ADD's out of control. Better than a guerrilla warfare term, I think ninja is cuter and funnier to use because you have to be quiet and you have to blend in, right?
Yeah. Well, they're both like killer, murderer people.
Right, but one is super quiet and super like still respectful, and Batman Begins style.
How do you know guerrilla warfare guys aren't quiet?
They're
how do they not get caught out in the jungle?
No,
They ain't whooping
there's
it
something
up.
to that. But I'm saying from now I'm in brand message mode for them, for the Tampaniac stuff. I think you could use ninja as a funny like cheat code copy. Is all I'm saying.
What did you want to add, John Paul?
Ninja's a great word. And I actually kind of like to equate it with like my skills, like having a steady hand in the moment.
Yep.
And know how to execute.
Swordsmanship.
See Eric Redinger.
You should see how many
because
knives
we're
he
using
has.
stabilizing equipment, and we got to be very steady-handed, and we got to be very smooth. Why things are happening really, really quick.
You wear all black?
That's two.
Are you a ninja?
Yeah, no, and just give you a little bit just where my headspace is at. Why recording or like doing a documentary style shoot. Like you're looking at every situation in 5 different ways. I'm looking at the wide angle perspective on how to see the big picture. Then I'm looking for the medium crop and then the macro, very close up textural stuff. But then also you're thinking about the movement that you have to use with the camera to tell the story. So in that moment, you're thinking of all these different things.
Yeah, and you're not even bringing up the constraints you have, right? So you have time, right? That's a big one. You don't get any second shot.
Well,
so
sometimes
coverage.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's a wedding down the aisle,
You only get a certain number of shots at some things.
you've got constraints of a building that you may not be familiar with, or a beach,
Yeah.
right? Something that's you have to look at your surroundings and go, okay, what am I working with? That's why it's more ninja. Well, I guess that's still guerrilla, but I think you can really work with the ninja thing because it's cute enough, and it used to be like a hacky go-to for stand-ups like 10 years ago, I feel like, but now I think it's coming back.
Get you a fat
And
ninja
then the
costume.
fifth thing is really
the League of Shadows.
thinking and seeing everything artistically in the moment, and not just getting this shot, but looking at everything and seeing how you could a different angle or a cool perspective, but
Framing.
looking at it artistically as well.
Well, I think the editing side of it too for you, like knowing how it's going to work out in the editing bay, is big.
That's a sixth thing. You're right.
I
You have in your
sixth
head
sense
thinking about that.
for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, so you're thinking about all those things at once to make a decision, which is really interesting, right? You probably don't even realize it in the moment. You're probably just going like, okay. But all of that gets easier. Why does that get easier? It's because experience times knowledge equals wisdom. Eventually, you do it enough. Yeah. Just drop that on your
I
ass.
can make up word math problems all I want to.
It's not my theory. I don't know who said it. I forget, but I'm sure we can find that really quick. Before we get into that stuff, hold on. I walked in. John Paul had 2 beefs with us. He said, "I will fight you."
He did?
Yeah.
Well, we need to
He
just...
took his shirt off.
Okay, we need to get these cameras turned
Oiled
around,
up.
clear this table
I don't
out,
know what
and make
kind of-
this happen.
No, you're in there too.
Oh, we'll kick his ass.
Yeah. Tag team this shit.
Take turns.
But okay, so let's from the last episode. What were your beefs?
Well, you guys had Sarah Fazan.
Oh,
on.
my
Serena.
God.
Sabrina.
So close.
Serena.
It's all good.
Yeah, and you guys talked about the first thing I think was the kidnapping thing, which is a big downer.
So what did we say?
But I think you guys were kind of brushing it under the rug a little bit and just saying that it's not something that normal people it's not something that happens a lot. People get abducted, when I think that maybe the human trafficking and stuff is a little bit bigger of an issue than
Well,
we
we
know.
didn't say it doesn't happen. All we were saying is that if you look at, did you ever find out what the name of it was? The fear index or whatever?
There's the appeal to fear.
If you think about like if you're just born into the world at this point in time, you're more safe than you will have ever been in the history of the world. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
I try not to speak in absolutes when
Yeah.
it comes to like behavioral stuff, because that makes us no better than what we rail against in a way. Because shit isn't binary like that, really.
No. It's just it's a matter of just before you would have all of these different things that could get you, that you should be afraid of, whether it's disease or just marauders, because everybody got away with everything.
Marauders, nice.
Like if you think about just how many phones and cameras there are, you're more safe, but you're hearing more about the bad stuff than you would in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just somebody in our position, and Eric is actually kind of in the same boat, because our best friend, Logan Kessie, his sister went missing about 12 years ago, and they haven't found her. And if it's hit that close to home for us, then it's hard me to believe that it can't happen to everybody.
Yeah, it absolutely could.
We're not saying that it can't or it doesn't. I was saying that we're safer than ever, but we're more scared than ever.
Yeah.
And that's the dumb guy breakdown of it. I mean, I'm trying to find the study so I can reference it, but I can't remember if I saw it on Pew Institute, pew pew, or 538, Nate Silver's website. That's kind of pop culture-y analytics, economic stuff. But I wasn't saying that. I was saying that kids playing outside, I think, was what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Because this was an argument I had with a friend 3 years ago that now we're better friends, but we had just met at that point. And
You have arguments with people you just meet all the time, don't you?
No, I just don't. I have a problem when people tell me this is the way things are as an opinion, as a fact,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not a discussion. Right?
Or like
So
the people that you give your opinion and they say, no.
No. They throw their opinion, this is the way life works.
Did you just do that to me?
Yeah. I just mansplained it to you. No. They'll go, the rate of kids getting kidnapped is higher than ever. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, that'll be my reply.
Right.
Or sometimes like
Yeah.
I'll just like kind of let it roll. But then if they start keeping getting into it, I'm like, well, obviously there's something. Whether you want to talk about this or not, we're going to talk about it now.
Yeah. God, just the railroading of it.
If I read something like the good thing about being a smart dumb guy, as I like to call myself, is that I don't believe my own memory in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I
Constantly re-referencing things.
Right. So I'm like, well, okay, I think I read this study about this. I'm pretty sure this is what it was. And I'm the nerd that goes through the study to read that it's a legit, has sample size and double blind and whatever you need in there. Because a lot of those you can juke the stats like season 3 of The Wire.
Right. You can, the people find out who made the study too, who funded that shit. 'Cause
right.
They'll,
I don't trust academia as much anymore, blah, 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 blah. All those things. But what I look at, and we had Krishna Reddy on who told us about scientific studies have motive before it. They have crazy bias walking into the study.
Right.
And to put their stank on it too.
Yeah. They have something they want.
Then you have the scientist that wants to get a stank on it. They go, this is my thing. So I like trying to go to like as much empirical evidence statistically when I look at a study. And if I think I just read it when I talked to her, and I was like, because I know a lot of women that are that are scared a lot, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be. I can't tell people how to be in that way, but I'm saying like the crime rate is dramatically lower.
Yeah. People forget how many more people there are now too.
Right.
It's just a numbers game.
But and I think you brought this up, Eric, that because it's so good, you have that free time to think a little bit.
Wait, what's so good?
Like just society might be so good, or like you're being.
Oh, okay.
Being
not being in danger gives you free time.
It gives you free thought time, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
And so you can fill that up with fear a lot of the time or anxiety. That's why. Go ahead.
Sorry, does it depend on who you're talking to, though? Like, because I know, like, 3 or 4 police officers that talk about how bad crime is that we never hear about, especially in, like, Tampa, because my sister just moved into Forest Hills, and I was asking them about how good of an area it is, and they were saying
shout out to Forest Hills
that
Dental.
we don't hear about how much crime there is in that area.
Yeah,
well,
but
that's
coming from cops.
That's
all they see.
You qualified it without even thinking about it. You qualified it, how much crime is in that area. Like, it's counter to what you think normally because it's a nice little enclave, suburbia kind of area of Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So you think it doesn't have crime. What they're telling you is, it really might be like, you think it has 3%. It's actually got 5.5. Like
6. It's
right,
double what you
right.
thought. Twice as bad.
And so, like,
I don't know. They're saying it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said,
thanks for helping Forest Hills Dental.
a cop is,
You're gonna get ganked in the chair.
That's all they're doing. That's all they're dealing with is crime.
Right.
But isn't that a good litmus test? Because we're not seeing any of it, but they're actually seeing what's going on. We're not seeing any of it, though.
What they're saying is, they're kind of swinging the other way to get it almost to even out. I feel like in the conversation, right? You don't know how much crime there is there.
I mean, if you think about,
you think you got it so good, and maybe tough, lovey style, because that's how I feel like a lot of my cop friends talk.
Well, just think about the news. Like, they're gonna, if there is a crazy, like, messed up story, the news is gonna get on it. Like, it's not like they're not trying to sell this crazy fear. It's gonna happen. So, like, what is it that we're not hearing about that you think is happening?
I don't think we hear about any of it. Like all the assaults, robberies. I mean, what are we really hearing? I mean, they get to see everybody that comes through the doors every day.
Yeah, but they deal with it every day. Like, I think one of the way I'm hearing this, I'm trying to guess. The way I'm hearing how this conversation probably went down is like, you remember how? I remember the stat that there's 2 things. Domestic violence is like the worst call for cops.
Yeah. Unpredictable.
So that's like something that, contrary to popular belief, what you would think like pulling people over on the side of the road is probably the most dangerous because people don't know how to drive, they don't pull over correctly, and cops get clipped a lot. So to me, that's the most dangerous.
Dude, have you ever, I mean, it's crazy to me the places people pull over for
Oh my
when they
God.
get, it's like as soon as those lights come on, they slam on their brakes and just drive into the median. It's like, pull over, put your turn signal on. They know that you're stopping. Like, I don't get it.
Well, I don't want to rush this topic.
Sorry.
No. I want to talk about that for a second, but I want to say, just for us, it's a production schedule. I'd rather just talk about this for 2 episodes, and we'll just break it up if y'all are good with that.
Okay.
Because
Idiot's talking without his
I
mic
can't
on.
hear him.
He turned his mic off.
Sorry, guys,
Sounded
because
like-
I just Googled it. But to make one of my points, I mean, how many people do you think get kidnapped a day or a year in the United States?
I don't know. Tell us.
Google just told me that 800,000 kids a year and 2,000 a day.
That sounds high.
that's really high.
800,000.
So what is Google referencing? Because Google, it doesn't.
According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
All right, so we have to look at incentives, right? It's the same thing as like 1 in every 3 girls gets sexual that
And it said they're
that John
citing
Paul
the-
hooks up with. No,
They're citing the U.S. Department of Justice reports.
okay, but hold on. There's this thing about like every college girl, 1 out of every 3 college girls is sexually assaulted, and it's like, or raped or whatever, and it's like, oh really? That's how high it is. Then why is college bigger than ever? Like, why would anybody send their kids?
Yeah.
So this is where this comes economics, like that Freakonomics style of looking at behavior and then incentives of these studies is what we're kind of talking about.
But also, like, on that one, what is a kidnapping
Right.
considered? Because
What is
lots
the
of
qualifier?
times they'll count when a mother and a father are getting divorced and one of the parents takes both kids. That's considered kidnapping. And
Out of that
it is.
800,000, 203 are kidnapped by family members. So we still got
203,000.
600,000.
There you go.
What-
Good to know.
I'll look this up. But that's the appeal to fear. So that the government, if this is a government study, is that what we said?
National Institute
Yeah.
of something or other.
Well, the National Institute of something or other.
You said it was Department of Justice.
They were
referenced.
citing the Department of Justice.
Right, but the President Obama used to say about the wage gap, and that's fucking incorrect too. The 78 cents on the dollar thing is like a total bullshit appeal to fear.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's actually closer to like, a lot of economists would say it's closer to 95, 98 because it's voluntary.
Yeah.
It's women have more.
And
Like-
these corporations would have nothing but women if that was the case, working because it'd be cheaper.
Right. So that's exactly. I don't know what's right. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of exactly because I haven't looked at the study, so I'm not going to go and say I know.
I
I'm just
believe
saying
him.
No, I believe
Seems
he's.
high.
I believe he's reading it. I believe that's from that institute,
Mhm.
but I have to really look at it and go. That's kind of what we're talking about. Is this bias of okay? You have to look at the incentives of everybody involved, and if what are you typing in?
I'm just.
I've
looking
never
at this-
seen you
I'm
type
just-
during an episode.
I know. I was thinking I'm
scary.
going against what I believe in.
But
Well, I feel like you're just kind of being
contrarian?
what everybody else wants to. You don't want to think about it because I just gave you 3
He's saying the opposite
things.
of that.
No,
He's saying
I'm
the
saying
absolute opposite
more
of
due
that.
diligence because
He's
I
saying
can't do
he
it on
wants
air.
to think about it. He's saying he doesn't have it in front of him. He's not calling you wrong. He's just saying he wants to look into it more. So he-
Right.
But
be a boring
automatically you're
episode.
being
No, he's not.
skeptical on
I'm
the
skeptical too.
sources, just kind of like how the conversation went with Sabrina.
Serena.
People don't want to believe this, but I feel like it definitely is an issue. So
Well, sure it is, but like,
Right. We're not saying
but
it's
he's
not
not saying that like you're wrong, or he's just saying he's not making a decision because he's not looking at the study.
Right, and it'd be a boring episode if I just sat here and Googled to look this up. I can try to circle back next episode after, whenever we do the next hang session one with just the 3 of us. But I don't want to go into it. But I'll tell you how I feel about those studies is that I feel like you got to look at, and feel is an interesting verb when we're talking about this stuff too.
Okay, let me also, I'm looking at the study right now. What it is, it says that 200,000 family or children are abducted by family members each year. 58,000 are taken by non-relatives. The 800,000 number is missing persons. So that's not kidnappings. That's also, it could be murders where they don't find a body. Could be people just on the lam. So it's
Deadbeat
right there. You
dads.
can see where you can look into something, and it's not exactly what we thought it was.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, but
you can
that
see how
still
this
they
get-
went missing like 800,000. How much of those were because of kidnapping? Then they murdered them, or what? I mean, I still feel like it's almost the same boat.
Well, no. I mean, not really. This is actually saying 540,000 being runaways and people kicked out of their homes by their families of missing persons. Because it doesn't have to be your family reporting you missing, does it?
so
If you're gone wrong.
that's why it's
No.
it's kind of exactly what I was trying to want us to talk about anyway. When I was slacking y'all a little bit before we started, like an hour before we started or whatever, like there's a weird bias, right? And sometimes we don't even know we have it. And that in this situation, I don't really want to harbor around y'all's friend's incident, but maybe there is a sensitivity towards this subject
Sure.
that when you look up the first thing you find, it looks like it's from, like we still have this default, as our age group especially, we're in our mid-30s, we still think these institutions, our default brain goes to like, oh, well, this institution's an institution. It's got .gov behind it.
Yeah.
Or .org. Like, it's a legit thing until you peel the onion sometimes and you're like, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, it went from 800,000 children a year getting abducted to the real number is 58,000.
Which is still a
that are
lot.
taken like in the way that we're scared of them being taken, because
But you
the
just
other
said
two-
children,
yeah,
and our Jennifer Kessie was 25 years old.
yeah,
So,
no, I
mean,
know. I'm just saying that. Well, I thought that you were saying that the number was 800,000 children.
So to bring this
But whatever,
to
doesn't
bring
matter.
this into business too, we're fragmenting. Now we're really kind of looking at we're analyzing the analytics, right? So even if I'll try to make this comparison for business to keep it kind of a little bit in there, even though this is psychology based kind of talk, which to me psychology is business in every which way. And what's going on is the first thing that popped up. I want to know this: when you Googled it, before you clicked on the link, did the metadata bring up the first thing on the article or whatever it was, the report? Did the metadata, before you even clicked on the link to go, you're still in Google search, and it showed that stat? Because that might be more of that appeal to fear part that's used in politics and marketing a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Okay, so
And it has a little graph.
if I'm putting on my marketing hat for that side, right? I'm the digital marketer for that, whatever that institution is that's putting the study together. I'm doing the website. What's the most salacious thing I can get people to draw in?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use there's 800,000 because that sounds like a better number than 58 or even 230. And it's the way I'll use the phrasing too is I won't say kidnapped because that's too specific. That'll make our number go way down from 800,000. I'll say whatever it
It
says.
says nearly 800,000 children are reported missing each year.
Right. So the way that's phrased is even fucking weird. Right.
And then you go on to read it, and it says, well, 99% of them are found within 48 hours.
Right. So, look, and there's probably some stuff that isn't reported too, right? I don't
Sure.
know. This is the United States too. That's another part of this. So it's definitely different probably in Colombia.
Yeah.
Or
the
Venezuela.
numbers, yeah, it's probably worse everywhere.
But
Maybe not Canada.
no, Canada's
They're so
probably
nice.
pretty good, and they
So
probably
nice.
report correctly because they might have restrictions on how you can report this stuff.
Yeah, they
We
got a lot
don't.
of weird restrictions.
We're kind of self-governing in that area, and that gets into freedom of speech kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're not wrong. It's not a wrong way to say it, right?
They're not lying.
Yeah. But it is a marketing appeal to fear is a huge marketing tactic, and we see it all the time in politics for ads.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, side note, when people tell me advertising doesn't work, and then I go, let's look at the spend of advertising in politics compared to who wins in politics, and just draw that. That's a pretty good, like almost 1-to-1 correlation.
Yeah, it still works for the next couple of years.
Right.
All these oldies are still watching cable.
And if you're trying to break that down and go, well, Hillary lost, and it's like, well, no, but she used that money to get to that part to lose. So, like, she advertised the shit out of everybody else to get there. So that's a little bit
You still have to have a lot of money to lose, too.
Right. So, and I won't even get into that part. But I'm saying, like, advertising works. A message works. Frequency. We've talked about frequency of a message, like Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Pound law. Oh, no, let's just double do this.
Double do this?
Just part two it. We'll just go long, and we'll make it a part two. Because this is a big topic we've wanted to talk about for a long time, the confirmation bias.
Let's just go long for one.
Right, I'm saying break it to 66, and then we cut it in half.
66?
Yeah.
I got shit to do. I can't be here for that long.
I thought we were doing 2 today.
When did you get that idea? We have one in the hopper for tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Saturina.
I feel bad now because I can't see John Paul's face, and there's a delay. So even if I look on our video village to my left, I don't know if he's...
Thanks for bringing it back up, though.
I don't know if you feel like I'm being a dick because I was getting excited. I'm sorry. But
no.
What about that he mispronounced?
For me, I think it was good to clarify a little bit your feelings on it because it really is a big issue for us and our group of friends. You know, I know that kidnapping and stuff doesn't happen to everybody, but my feelings really are there's nothing worse that could happen to a family.
Agreed.
I mean,
right, that's virtue
really
signaling, though. We all agree on that. We all agree on that. That's
and you're right. But I'm saying thank you for bringing it back up because I maybe am a little too close to it, but Jennifer Kessie's story is one that we all can relate to, and I feel like if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
Well, that's the logic. That's the appeal to fear, though. That's why you buy. That's how marketing will get you to buy alarm systems.
Yeah.
And Ring.com doorbells like I did.
Yeah.
Those things are awesome.
They are, but they're not the solution either, too. So that's why I'm always like...
The solution is a gun.
Pew, pew. Kept loaded on top of your nightstand at all times.
I know.
No lock.
Yeah, I just have a bat leaned up against a gun safe.
I just want like a series of candlesticks that I can turn on the wall and the walls flip around
like a Pee Wee Herman Rube Goldberg machine.
I honestly, that's if I can get a house that can do something that either I twist a candlestick 90 degrees on the wall and something happens, a door opens, or pull a book out.
Right.
That's like a book like Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises, something that has some kind of meaning or something.
You've thought of this.
Maybe. But I like that modular shit. Anyway, what was the other thing? We had a second part. What
was your second beef?
Yeah, no. We're done with the first beef, I guess, and we got a little time left. But the third thing was about the viral marketing that we were talking about and how you're kind of talking about it was impossible to create a viral video, but I just thought about all the people out there that are getting millions and millions of views on videos every day, and there's people out there creating viral videos every second.
So and if I mess that up because we were going really quick, because I can stumble over, I trip if I'm trying to go really fast, I stumble. Sometimes I can stumble over what I'm saying, like almost move the whole sentence ahead of one another. That's why it's hard for me to read out loud. But if I fuck that up, that's my bad. And I won't go back and listen into it because I don't like hearing my voice. But
me neither.
I'll
hate
say
hearing your voice.
the ask of the ask of the creative to of say you're the creative. I'm a big advertising agency. I'm dealing with the client part. I go to you and I go, I need you to make something that goes viral. I think that ask is impossible.
Yeah, there's no
It's not
there's no
impossible. It's
checklist.
just-
There's no like set of steps to go through to achieve the viral video that'll work every time. It's not like people are just being lazy and they're
'Cause
not getting a viral video. It's
If you
just
knew
like-
that, you would do it already. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be in that room.
yeah,
Right? Like, if you knew how to make everything viral or anything viral, you'd probably figure that out and run with it.
yeah. You hear anybody that's in a viral video, they say, "I had no idea it was going to get so big."
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, obviously.
And-
I mean, nobody does.
And we know, but we know we
know
could.
a couple things that work.
Okay, we know.
Titties.
Yeah, we don't have asses.
There's a lot of variables in a video creative, right? And you kind of went over them in the beginning in a way, kind of doing a callback of sorts. But it's like, we know that it's better to get this shot over this shot, and we believe in this office, comedy gets the most organic shares. If you're funny and you're doing an ad, if you can really make it legit funny, Geico's the broad reference I use. I think they do a really good job of interstitial, those ads when you start a YouTube video, they're 5 seconds. They do a really good job for a super broad audience to be witty, clever, but not alienate a lot of people who don't get it.
Yeah, they do it for. I mean, it's not just that though. They hit all the demographics. They have
Right.
They have like 4 different campaigns that they do. With the
And
stupid gecko. That's not funny.
And then it's frequency, right? The gecko's frequency.
Yeah.
The General, which is the dumbest insurance thing I've ever seen, it's like 3D animation from 1978
Yeah.
with Shaq in a car. What does that have to do with it?
Yeah.
Why does that make me want to buy insurance? Oh, no, it's just because I see it so much. They may even be doing the anti-creative of that, where it sucks so bad that you make fun of it, you remember it has better sticking power because you hate it, and then that's some like deep Inception shit. But like,
That's happening a lot more these days.
I don't know what's on purpose and what isn't, though, right?
I don't. There's a Facebook ad that goes around of a woman, holding the camera, her phone up right to her face. She has no makeup on. She looks like she just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll scroll through, and I stop every time. I'm like, what is it? And it gets me and I have no idea why I'm like stopping to see this. I guess because it's just it looks like a train wreck.
Well, right. It's I used to do those ads when I did the green coffee bean extract stuff like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's called imperfect ads or something like that. Like, it's supposed to be flawed, so it catches your eye because it's salacious to you. It creates arousal, not sexual arousal, but like it creates arousal where you go, I'm gonna thumb stop this because I want to hate on it probably. Like, what's
Yeah.
this butt fuck doing? Like,
Yeah.
like you see some stuff. That's what you want. You think it's your friend that's fucking with a camera,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you go, "Hey, Dumbo, like, get it right."
Yeah.
Everybody knows how to use a phone, and then you're like, "Ah, shit,
Yeah.
I got Paranormal Activity style like into it." Does that make sense? I think so. Breaking it down, there's bias in everything. I definitely want to talk about this the next time we're doing no guest episode a little bit more. But all we were saying was you're less likely to get kidnapped, or less likely you can play in your yard. It was scarier than the 70s than it was now.
Mm-hmm.
And with viral video, if you knew the magic to make that happen, which I think is like 13 huge variables: time, arousal, platform, what's been done before. What are you going to do that's a little unique? Girth, wide dick, flaccidity,
Mm-hmm.
fluidity,
Titties.
Jinx.
Whoa! We got to end on that.
We're ending it. Goodbye, everyone.
About my sweat equity.
SweatEquityPod.com ended on a jinx. That was creepy.
My sweat
LinkedIn.
equity.
Hit us on LinkedIn, man. I love it. I love LinkedIn.
Yeah. We're huge on LinkedIn.
What about my sweat equity?
Good.